How's it going, people? Welcome back to That Car Vlog channel. If you've never been here before, I'm Andy. This red thing here is my 1994 Dodge Dakota that I've had for a little over a month now. And today we're gonna do various things to this truck, make various improvements, at least we hope. First thing I'm going to do is we're actually going to start by trying to clear up these headlights here. It may or may not work. We're going to find out in this video. I'm going to do some under the hood improvements, mainly a few tune-up items. I got a new air filter for it, got a bunch of new spark plugs, new PCV valve, and I got some throttle body air intake cleaner. We're going to just run this through there as much as possible, try to clean that up. It's having a rough running situation from time to time when it decides to, so hopefully we're going to take care of that. Also, I'm going to try to get around to taking off this terrible window tinting. I don't know if you see it from the outside, but it looks like you can. I mean, this stuff it's bubbled, it's peeling, it's coming off, so we're going to try to get that off of there. As well as these Marine Corps stickers. Not that I don't support our troops, but I've never been in the military in any capacity, so I don't feel it's appropriate for me to keep these on the truck. Anyway, first things first, let's get to the headlights and see if we can do anything about that. Alright, so to do this headlight restoration, or at least hopefully accomplish it, I went ahead first, I took some masking tape, I just kind of taped off a dividing section, so once I get done, I think it's good. We'll peel this off and see if there's a difference. Now first I took and I cleaned the headlight real good with some 91% rubbing alcohol, and that's how nasty the rag got. I've got this Plastex polish for clear plastic made by Meguiar's that I used in a previous video on other cars, and it seemed to work okay. I did it by hand. I'm not going to do it by hand this time though. I went to Walmart and I bought this. This is exactly what it looks like. It's a polishing wheel for a drill. Hopefully that'll get better results with this. I'm actually going to flip my rag inside out. Shake this polish up real good. I'm going to put a little bit on the corner of the rag here. There we go. I'm just going to rub it on. We'll go in a circular pattern. Let's get a little bit more on there. Just a little bit. Circular pattern, kind of coat it. One more dab. Just for good measure. Okay. Now let's try this. That's concerning. That's wonderful. So my polishing wheel started coming apart on the side here and is leaving crap all over the headlights. So now I get to scrape that off and we'll try again with the flat part. I think I'm done with that for this video. Let's move on to the things that I know I can do. Alright, now that the hood is up, the first thing I'm going to do is this. This is throttle body and air to intake cleaner. I'm going to start by taking off the air filter and cover, spraying that in there, letting that really soak and penetrate and clean up some of the crap that's in the air intake. So let's get that air cleaner cover off. There we go. Now the instructions say that I have to take this, attach this straw to the side, open up those butterfly valves, and spray this stuff in there. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that on camera, so we'll find out. Alright, so I figured out how to mount the camera. That's good. I'm using a rag because this motor's a bit warm, and open up this throttle body. I don't want to get too much in there because I do want to be able to run the motor, but I really want this thing to get cleaned out. Catch my rag on that. Of course, it's impossible to see down in there. It's a pretty deep intake. I'm just going to run around this top part. I'm going to run the butterfly valves, clean that off real good. And I'm just going to let that sit and soak and just kind of do its thing while I do other stuff. Interestingly, I had a thought to pull off this little breather that goes on the other side valve cover, and it is, first of all, just look on the outside. This thing is got some age to it. I don't know if you can tell inside, but it looks pretty nasty, and there's a good chance that this might also cause some problems. This actually, once again, it goes on the other side valve cover, and there's a hose that runs from this into my air cleaner housing. That could also be contributing, so I do need to get another one of these. That will happen eventually. I was told not to spend any more money this week, so I won't be doing that now, but I will put it back on. So we're just going to go ahead and do the things that I have already purchased. Next up, spark plugs. Now I just got some, they're pretty much just basic Champion plugs. I didn't get anything fancy for this truck, nothing super expensive, because this isn't the project truck, that's over there. But these are what I got, just basic Champion plugs, nothing special. Now before I put these in, I don't care if they come pre-gapped or not, I'm going to check the gap. And according to the repair manual, the Haynes repair manual for, let's see, anything after 92, V6 and, or actually see, everything, doesn't matter, all engines, all years. I was reading the wrong line, I apologize. Spark plug gap, all engines, all years, 0.035 inch. So I've got my gap tool here. Let's see where these set. Now some people say that this is not the proper gap tool, should be using the wire type. I don't have one, so oh well. It's supposed to be 0.035, so this is going to have to be gapped. I'm going to have to check and gap all these. That might take a minute, so we're going to go ahead and do that off camera. Alright, there we go. 8 spark plugs, all gapped to 0.03 inch. And wasn't any of these anywhere close. They were all gapped too tight, so I had to stand here and gap every single one of them. But they're all at 0.035. Let's get them in. Alright, I'm going to do my best to capture all this on video. So we'll see how this goes. We're going to start here with what I assume to be the number one. Pull this wire off as I knock the camera over. That's just perfect, Andy. There, that's better. Anyway, I got that number one wire off. Get in here and we'll seat this spark plug socket on the plug. Now I've got it on an extension. I hope to God I don't ever need my other extension because I can't find it. Hopefully 3 inches will be enough. Let's get this thing out of here. And there she is. Now this is the one that I pulled in the other video where I talked about the things that the truck needs, and wow, that is still really hot. These V8 engines take a long time to cool down. Alright, but looking at the plug, you see there's some white on it on the tip of the electrode. Maybe even a little burnt. Anyway, kind of smells like some sort of fuel source. I think it might be running rich, I'm not sure. But obviously these need replaced, so we're going to do all 8 of them. Here's our new one. Look how pretty and shiny that is. Gapped and ready to go. Just going to fit it down in my plug socket. We're going to send this thing down in the hole. And I'll start screwing her in. Alright. All 8 spark plugs have been replaced, and well, here, let's take a look at them. This is what they look like. They've all got some wear, we'll say. I believe that coloration, if I remember from my research right, I believe that coloration is from maybe running too rich. Anyway. Two other things are going to replace under this hood besides the spark plugs, and one of those is the PCV valve. It just plugs right into the valve cover on the passenger side, just pulls straight out, no problem. Now, I've heard, if I remember what I know correctly, if you can shake it and it sort of rattles, it's good. I'm not getting a lot of rattle out of that, so it may be going. Even if it's not, it cost me like $3, $4, something like that. So not a big deal to replace. Right, here's the new one, my BWD. I've used them. I've actually bought this brand for a few things and been pretty pleased with it. So you can hear the little thing moving around in there. Even if it's, like I said, even if it's not good, not a problem to replace because it's literally less than $5. So why not just do it when you're doing a tune-up to your car? So that lid just pulls right out of that hose like that. Easy as can be. Pop this nub here back into that hose. And then just push this back into the valve cover. Boom. Less than a minute if I wasn't filming. And there's a new PCV valve in there. So that's good. And the last thing happening under the hood today is the new air filter. Before I do that, I have to put the housing back on. So here's the lower housing. There's a hose that attaches to the side of it. This end of this hose plugs into that breather that's on the other side that I showed you that needs replaced. I'll just set this right here on top. Stick that hose in. And that just kind of sets there. Now, if you didn't see the last video where I went over what it needs, here's the old filter. Look at that interesting spot. And that could be a sign, if that was pointed at this breather inlet, that could be a sign that that breather's bad. So that'll need to be replaced. Hopefully I don't have to get another air filter after that, but if so, I will. But I mean, this thing's in rough shape. It's got that stain or whatever it is. It's got a dent here for some reason. I don't see any reason why that should be dented, but it has a dent. Anyway, garbage. And here's the new one, new Purelator 1 air filter. It just sits in there. Put on my cover and my wing nut. There we go, and I'll reattach this intake hose, which might end up moving my camera around. Let's hope not, but it probably will. There we go. And now this thing should be breathing a lot better. I'm actually going to fire it up to see if I notice a difference. So that actually, I think, sounded a little bit better. Now, it did hesitate to start the first time, kind of cranked for a while, and then it fired up. And then what I'm assuming is it was getting some of that cleaning fluid through there, which is not a big deal. If it's in the intake, it's going to go through the engine. But before this point, if it had to crank that long, normally I had to hold down the gas and let it start, and I'd have to keep revving it, and it would rev very roughly. And so I'm hoping that cleaning that is an improvement. I'm actually going to run another round of that stuff through there. I'm going to take that back off, run another round through there, and do it one more time just for good measure. So one more time, we'll see how that goes. So that definitely seemed to help. Like I said before, the long cranking, before I did this, I had to mash the gas pedal to get it to even try to start. Now the long crank is just because there's a bunch of cleaner in there and it's got to suck it through. Not a problem. So super happy with that, and I'm hoping it lasts. Otherwise we have to figure something else out. I am going to replace that breather here as soon as I can though, because I do think it's getting oil into my filter and we don't need that. However, that is what's being done under the hood this time around. Super happy that's done. Now, when we get some more daylight, we'll get to the other things that I wanted to do. And now it's a week later, and a different shirt, because my stuff takes forever. What we're doing now is taking these Marine Corps stickers off the window. Like I said before, I've never been in the military in any capacity, so I decided to get these off before people start thanking me for my service that I never did. I already got this side off just so that I could kind of know what I was doing. Now it's time to get this side. Very simple. I've got some glass cleaner and a razor scraper blade that's way over there. So let's get to this thing and get this one off. Okay, so to get this off, I've just got this little, if I can quit dropping it, this little scraper blade. Hyper Tough brand. I bought it at Walmart. Really cheap. It's got some refill blades in it. Super simple. And all I'm gonna do is just kind of take and start scraping at this sticker, and this sticker is old. It's gonna just keep chipping away and away and away and away. Eventually this will come off. Now, these pieces are actually a lot bigger than the ones that came off the other side, so I may not have to do a high-speed montage of this. A big problem here is dude stuck them so close to the window trim. Sorry about the shaking. Close to the window trim, it's kind of not the easiest thing in the world getting around that, but it's doable. I've already done it and I'm doing it again. And this stuff smells, well, if you've ever smelled old duct tape when you try to peel it off and it leaves the adhesive behind, that's kind of what this smells like. It's not the most pleasant thing in the world, really. It's actually quite strong, surprisingly. Boy, I almost got it all. Like I said, this is coming off a lot easier than the other side did. There we go. And now the sticker itself is gone. I got me an old crappy towel to wipe stuff on. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but there's still plenty of adhesive left behind. I was going to hit that with some glass cleaner and drag over it and start scraping away. And this part actually turned out super, super easy. This adhesive does just come right up with very, very little effort. Normally I would say this thing I need to do a high-speed montage of, but actually that went very quickly. I was very, very surprised by that. And once everything's said and done, we'll clean up the rest of the window. But 2.5 minutes of video and it's off. That's pretty good. There's a little more adhesive and we're good. I don't know if you can tell, but I can. Where the stickers were blocking the sun's access to this tint film, there's a dark circle on both sides. Kind of funny. And there actually is a little bit more crap on the window. There's some, what looks like double-sided tape at one time. I don't know why in the heck that's on there, but same thing. Man, that was easy. That's coming right off. Really, it didn't leave behind very much adhesive residue to speak of. I'm going to go over it anyway just to be safe. But nah, it didn't leave anything behind. That's really nice. Different kind of adhesive. And then there's this mystery sticker, which just looks like it had another mystery sticker over it. Trying to see if I can figure out what it says, but I can't. Something about access. It might be like an access pass for a parking garage or school or something. I don't know. Looks like there was a sticker under both of these at one time. Maybe it was peeled off and one was put in place and then one was put on top of the other, and Lord only knows. Those kind of smell like old duct tape too. That's just not a smell that I like. But not too bad. They're coming right off. Now, this is leaving behind a decent amount of adhesive, so there's that. And let's keep on hitting the camera, or this tripod anyway. And off it comes. Not too shabby. So that's that. And like you see, there's more sun blockage right there. It's another dark spot. And there's that big spot where there was a plate or something here. I don't know if it was a Vandy plate or what, but there was clearly a plate here. So all these little places where it was blocking the sun from hitting that window tint film, it's got dark spots. We're not going to be seeing those too much longer now, because now it's time to remove that window tint film. Okay, so I've kind of started on this tint already, and FYI, the camera may move a little bit because it's half sitting on the seat, and so am I. I watched another YouTube video about taking off window tint, and I don't know if in that video the dude was removing a higher quality tint or if it just wasn't as old as this, but this stuff is putting up a bite. I did manage to scrape a strip of it off the window right here. I mean, I had to chip away at the edges and just really try to get it. Dude in the video that I watched, he just kind of scraped the corner away to where he could get a hold and then just pulled it off in one pull. You know, with some effort of course, but he pulled it all off. This entire window is going to have to be scraped away. And so I think now it's time for a high-speed montage. Alright, and there it is. I finally got all that tint film scraped away. And, well, I hope the shop vac is hungry, because I got something for it. But that's off. Now, of course, there's a bunch of adhesive left. I'll take off, and then I can do the other side. But this is a job. Looky there. There is nothing left stuck on my back windows. And there isn't anything else messing up the floor. That tint came off in shavings pretty much. It made an absolute mess. But now, I mean, these windows I can see through them well. There's no stickers on here that claiming something that's not true. There's no ugly tint. So that's awesome. So that's not awesome, however, is I piled everything in the front seat of the truck and my Plastex polish made a bit of a mess. So I get to clean that up and I'm out of polish now. So I did get a better polishing wheel, but at least I'm hoping it's better. It looks more well put together, but now I've got to get more polish. So I don't know if that's going to be in a different video or if I'll just let everybody know how that goes on Facebook or Instagram or something. Anyway, that's that. Alright, and now it's weekend number 3 trying to make this video, so hopefully it's the last one. Now what we're doing today is trying to remove these step boards from the side of the truck. I don't know how well you can tell, but each one of these is held on by 4 bolts on each side, here and over here. I've already taken one out because I had to see what size it is. And interestingly, they're so rusted that they just twisted in half. The only time I don't mind twisting off a bolt. You can also tell they're aftermarket because they're metric 11mm bolts. But that's all it takes to get these off. A lot of force, some PB blaster, and a little bit of time. No high speed this time. We're just going to get these off and come back when they're done. Alright, so I thought I'd just show everybody how this is going. I'm down to 3 bolts left to having both of these off. But this has been an ordeal. All of these bolts are just absolutely rusted together. And most of them are actually snapping in half. What I'm having to do though is take my regular 11mm socket and just kind of work it on there as best I can, and take my hammer and drive it onto there. Now that is the correct size, but these things are so rusty, they're a mess. They're a pain to even get a socket on. Alright, we'll set that on there. I've got my little one with an 11mm on it to fit on the other side. Simply to kind of hold the bolt, you know, what you normally do. Resistance, and then just push, ratchet. And then as usual, it broke off. There's a washer. There's a lock washer somewhere that I think got lost. Here it is. Now of course there's still part of a bolt in here. What if I can tap that out? It's just been, you know, whatever you can do to get these pieces out. I think I take the little ratchet and maybe even ratchet it back. Sometimes if I just keep ratcheting, it'll actually extract the rest of the bolts. There it comes. This has been an interesting process for sure, because now there's the rest of that, and it's not going to come out of there. And I've got a broken off bolt in here. So what I've had to do, let's walk over here. There we go. So there's my two washers, there's a regular and a lock. Down there in a pile of stuff. My vice grips have been my best friend here. Let's tighten these up a little less. That'll work. If I get lucky and there's a bit of a nub on this, I can clamp down and just wriggle it out of there, no problem. But then for this, where it's broken off real close to the nut, it's inside the washer. I actually had to expand the vice grips. Clamp the socket down in there. Grab my little Torx driver, which is probably not the most appropriate tool, but it's what I'm using. And there it is. And now it's out of my socket. That has been every single nut and bolt on these. So I'm going to get those last two out. Wish me luck. And there it is. And there he is. Got both steps off the truck. These all, or what's left of all the hardware. Lost a lot of little washers. Most of the bolts broke off. Most of them I've seen. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 16 bolts did not break in half when I took them out. So yeah, pretty nasty situation on there. This is the arsenal that I used, the hammer, all that crap. This is the passenger side step. It's a little bit better shape than the driver. This is the driver's side step, and yeah, it's like I said before, it is absolute toast. In fact, if I keep doing this, I think I can probably make it fall apart completely. There goes. So there. It's finished. It's done. And we have a new issue with the truck. I don't think I'm supposed to be able to do that. And very far too, and look at this. And of course, if I try to use them, I get nothing. I turn the switch on, the motor's running. I think some linkage has come off. So to get in here to figure out what's up, first I have to get this red cowl panel off. And before that, I have to get the wiper arms off. Now I got the first one off just so I know what I'm doing. And I should have done the other one so I'd be able to film this. But pretty much what we do, take my little flathead here. There's a little tab right about here. I have to pull that tab out. It's like a lock tab. And then I have to get up under and then just kind of pry at this. Now, if the paint was good, I wouldn't be doing it this way. But this paint's bad, so it doesn't really matter. We've got to pry away at that, pull that off of there, and then we can get onto the cowl panel. Next, I need to undo a bunch of screws. So we got one in each one of these corners here, and then we got a few that run along the front here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 it looks like. So we're going to get those out right now and get underneath this cowl. And there it's off. Now if we look down here, there was another screw right about there that I almost missed. It almost kept me from getting it off. I needed to actually detach the hoses from the washer sprayers as well. That didn't go so well on the driver's side. It broke. Now I've pretty much just loosened this here and it's just sitting here like this. Now I just need to remove these plastic pieces right here, which pretty much just snap in. No big. In fact, it's not pieces, it's one piece. Go to the other side. We'll clean some of these leaves off. And there it is. I'm just going to set this aside because it's got a... I'm going to rotate this here because it's got a windshield washer hose running through it. And let's see if we can see down in here. So here is where the motor attaches to the linkage right here. And it looks like that is still attached. However, this is a little too loose. And I'll bet you if I go turn them on, only one of those linkage bars is going to move. And there's that annoying buzz. Turn it on. Come out here and what do you know? Only one of them is moving. Terrific. Something is messed up on the linkage and I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that. Okay, so I definitely found the issue. It's maybe a little tough to see. I'm going to use my screwdriver as a pointer. But right here is a post where these two wiper linkage arms slide on top of. Now I actually had to let the wiper motor go a half turn, so it's actually over there now. Let that go a half turn so that I can bring this over a little more. These are held on by something like this. It's a little plastic, I don't know, grommet or whatever. This thing broke, and when it broke, that wiper arm jumped off. So now I get to figure out a way that I get to come up with to reattach said linkage arm. So I think I found what I'm going to use. I went digging through my old truck toolbox over there and found 3 of these fender washers that I had left over from, I honestly don't remember what. Now this is the original size opening. Need it to be bigger, so I drilled out 2 of them slightly larger. I have to take this third one and drill it out bigger than that because the post this sits on actually widens near the bottom. So I've got to have one that's actually a bit more open than those. Once I get those done, I just come on the back side with my flat file, take those burrs off. I should be able to get this back together. I also found, actually went and dug through the glove box of this thing, because I remembered I had a bunch of pins, and found this is the one that's going to work the best. Just snap in a little groove at the top of the post above the washers and keep the linkage on the post. Okay, so my washers are ready to go. This one fits. I'm going to try to film as I do this. It may not be easy, but post is in there. Probably can't see a thing. I'm going to take this big one, I'm going to set it down on the bottom. You're not going to be able to see me do this. I can't see me do this. It is very, very interesting. But, alright, so we seated the bottom washer. Now I'm going to take one of these ones that wasn't drilled out quite as much. I'm just going to sit on top of that. Okay, those are nice. I'm going to take this other linkage arm, the one that's free, and I may have to do a little moving, but not much, and that's on. Now let's put the third one on and see what it looks like. Okay, I think I can get the pin on, so let's see. If not, I may have to go without one of the washers, which is fine. It's hard to tell way in here if you're going to need 2 or 3 or what. So you're going to have to do this strictly by feels, because there's just no seeing what you're doing if you're going to get it done. Be right back. Okay, so I finally got it on. That was a pain. I actually had to remove one of the washers that was too thick. Like I said, just fine. But let's turn these on, see if we get the proper movement. And look at that. We got it. Now we'll get this back together. I'll do that off camera. We'll wrap this thing up. And so there you have it. There's round number 1 of things to be done to this truck. Got some pretty important things done, at least important to me. Spark plugs, air filter, PCV, some intake cleaner. Got those stupid steps off the side. I got all this stupid window tint off the back. I can actually see clearly through this window now. It's great. I might consider later on down the road maybe doing a tint to match for these side windows, because they are tinted, these rear side windows, but we'll just see later on. But super happy to get this stuff done. Hopefully in the future we'll get those headlights taken care of. But that's it for now. If you like this video, you like what you see, if it was even the least bit entertaining, informative, what have you, and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it if you feel so inclined. Also make sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at that car vlog channel. Pictures going up of this and the upcoming Cars and Coffee event, as I always do. So make sure to follow and stay tuned for things on those platforms as well. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you all have a great day.